Oh, do you know what? Good morning, Sharon. I have started, but I forgot to turn my microphone off. Good morning, Libby. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Mandy. Good morning, Suzanne. Apologies accepted. That's fine. I'm trying to multi-stream, you see, on YouTube and on Facebook. So, failing miserably, clearly. So we'll have a nice 45-minute art tutorial. If you're painting along, good luck for keeping up today. But we are going to be using a very limited palette. As you can see, just 4 colours today. 4 colours. I knew I'd forgotten to press something. I've got that many buttons to press. I've got my mobile phone up here that only people on Facebook can see me pointing to. So on YouTube, it's kind of up here. And then I've got the other camera here. So I've just got cameras everywhere. Isn't it exciting? And I've also got to check for customers in the shop because I've been a bit busy this morning. It's been a bit hectic. So cerulean blue, cadmium yellow, burnt sienna, although that looks like crimson, but it isn't. Burnt sienna and cadmium red. I wanted to check that that was burnt sienna that I squeezed out. But it isn't. Burnt sienna and cadmium red. I wanted to check that that was burnt sienna that I... It was indeed. It just looks a funny colour on the screen. So it's lovely. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on whichever platform you're joining me on, whether it be Facebook or YouTube. I'll be using my usual brushes. That's the word I'm after. Gosh, my brain isn't working this morning to get this done. And hi, Patricia. Lovely to have you with us. I thought I'd try and multi-stream today, just because I don't know why. Never mind. Right, so I've got a nice little scene here of Lomond Regional Park, and it's going to be quite cool. So when we do a cool wintry scene, my skies tend to go more from a sort of ultramarine cobalt blue kind of feel to a cerulean blue. Because it's much cooler and frostier, and you know, it just gives that chilly vibe. So I'm going to wet the whole sky. I'm using 300 GSM not surface watercolour paper. This is just a scrap bit, so I can't tell you what make it is today. So let's go round the background there, slosh it on. Technical term. So I'm having to flit screens between the CCTV, Facebook. Hi Liz, hi Hilary, lovely to have you with us. So this will also be on Facebook and YouTube forevermore. It'll be on our YouTube channel and our website. So cerulean blue. I'm going to pull the colour out using my squirrel. And I want it quite strong up here, and I'm going to leave the spaces where the clouds are. So once again, I will apologise in advance if I have to go and serve. As you know, on Saturdays I'm left running loose to cause chaos wherever I go. I do it so well. If you have any questions, do ask. Please do. That's kind of why we do these things, to help encourage and support you. I might be slow in answering because I've got 3 screens to juggle, but I'll do it. So if you notice that my brush strokes have gone from being quite broad to being slightly softer and more elongated as we get towards the horizon line, and I want it a little bit lighter. I'm presuming you can all hear me all right. Now I've actually turned the microphone on. It always helps, I find, having a microphone that works. So it is really, I'm always in awe of however many of you have given up some Saturday morning to just sit and watch me slap a bit of paint on some paper. And I'm very grateful because we are such a tiny little shop, a weeny little shop. Right, I'm going to go with a little bit of cad yellow and a little bit of cad red. Cad red is a hungry colour, it eats everything up. So I'm going to go with a bit of water. But I know some of you miss us on Facebook because you don't have YouTube for whatever reason. Or you might just be fed up of having lots of devices and lots of accounts. So I thought I'll trial it and see how well I can navigate. Hello, Elizabeth. I'm doing both. I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I'm everywhere. If I had another phone, I'd be on Instagram as well. And TikTok. No, I don't think I can live on TikTok yet. I haven't got enough followers. Hello, Lollipop. So I'm anticipating you're going to ask. I'm using 300 GSM watercolour paper, and the colours are on the top of the screen. So I've gone with a slightly more golden colour. The reason why I've gone for a little bit more of an orange tone from the cad red and cad red and cad yellow is so I don't get green when it mixes with the purple, or the blue rather. I also want a nice dull grey in the clouds, so I'm going to make, I'm going to talk to you about this actually, because you can see we've got a very limited palette. Annapolis, hello Christine, welcome, how lovely to have you with us. So where it gets confusing is we've got cerulean blue is a bright blue, isn't it? And cadmium red is a bright red. However, cerulean blue is green based and cadmium red is orange based. So there's no purple in them. So when we mix them together, we actually get grey or a dull muted purple. In fact, I did one class many years ago where we did a beautifully grey cat using this mix, but it's perfect for winter. For those of you in the Banbury area, I will be performing at Hilliers Garden Centre on Thursday evening as part of their festive evening of celebrations. 6 till 8, I think, something like that. Which is at Compton Road, just on the edge of the town centre. Be all mainly festive-ish songs. So longer thin lines down here for the clouds, and the reason for doing that is so the clouds feel smaller and further away towards the horizon line and bigger and more overhead as they're overhead. Just drop in some of this purple in, so you can see how effective it is just to do a nice loose free sky. Now I know some of you might be painting along with me, and that's fine and exciting. Good morning, Mary. Hey up, Chuck, you alright? And Borda Shidachi to all of our Welsh viewers, because we do get quite a few from South Wales, so croeso. So I'm going to make the colour a little bit stronger. That cadmium red though, look how punchy that makes it. Just a pinhead of cadmium red, whoosh, eats everything up. So my paper's still wet enough for me to faff about. There's a technical term for you. Wow, it's lovely to have so many of you with us. It really is. Oh, thank you, Patricia. That's really kind of you for the stars. What are you wowing at, Elizabeth? That I'm on multi-platforms. Get me trying to be all technical. Will it last? Because next month is a pen and wash, which is just using water-soluble pen on watercolour paper to do some snowy mountains. So that'll be quite pleasant, won't it? So left a little bit of a gap there around the mountain. Just need to fill that in with a clean, damp brush. Blend it together. Get the hairdryer on this. So it'll be a little bit noisy for a second. Because I need the horizon line to be dry, but you can see I've got the puddles of water further up here, and I don't want them to come down, so I'm angling the hairdryer this way. I will. I'll explain it today, Libby, and I'll show you what one could be. I don't think that's real, Mandy. Two little soggy patches up the top. No, I don't think that notification of Facebook removing all classes is real, and I'll tell you why. Because we do classes on Facebook, and we've not had one. And they make money. In fact, I still get notifications that Facebook are... You know, do you want to promote this, or do you want to do it as a class? There's no... From our end, as a instructor end, I've not seen any evidence that they're going to remove classes from Facebook at all. And bear in mind, 80% of our demos and things are also on YouTube as well. Facebook won't lose an opportunity for losing income or revenue or advertising, so I can't see that happening anytime soon. I'm using the three that I use all the time, Lollipop. I'm using my number, I think this is number 4 squirrel, or a number 2 squirrel. I've rubbed the numbers off. Number 4 round, number 2 squirrel, and number 1 miniature painting brush. Oh yes, I am very cosmopolitan, Elizabeth. Because we get more of our wider streaming customers on Facebook than on YouTube at the moment, which is really exciting. So, do you know, I'm going to use a bit of that orange because we've got a little bit of a glow on the snow. So I'm just going to use it slightly damp and wet. Oh, Mandy, have you? When did you do that? Today or recently, or have I missed the order, or have you got them in now? Because it's the wonderful Jackie that deals with the online orders. I print them off and Jackie posts them out. Dream team. They are amazing brushes. Well, it's lovely to have you all with us. How many have I got you on? I've got 9 of you on Facebook and 12 of you on YouTube. That's lovely. The problem that I'm having with good old Facebook is that they've made it difficult for me to add images to the events. I thought so. It did ring a bell, but my brain doesn't work wonderfully on mornings. So we've got a little bit of snowy tone. I'm going to use a little bit of the purple on this bit because the light's coming from the left, so the blue and the red to make a grey, mix up a little bit more. I've got the number 4 round brush in my hand. Oh, it is, isn't it? I find the squirrel brush so useful because it holds a lot of water. It does take a lot of getting used to, though, doesn't it? So we've got our light. And, you know, this one I've had this for at least 2 years up here. Because I've got one that I use for when I'm doing my mobile demos at home. And it's still got such a good point. It's just fantastic. Look at the point on that. We'll just flick over to Facebook. Are any of you painting along, or are you all just watching today? Which is from my point of view, I think that's the wiser version. So if I add, I've got some of this purple. I'm going to mix a bit more of it up here. A slightly bluer version. Watching today, very wise. I'm going to add a little bit of cadmium yellow. I was talking to my oil painting students last night, and I was saying that when you... No, I do it on purpose, Mandy. I'm like a whip it with a brush on a 45-minute demo morning. When you're mixing 3 colours together, that's when it gets muddy. So the sequence in which you mix a colour is really important. So if you notice, I mixed the purple together, but I wanted it more of a green, so I'm going to add more blue. This mix I want a dull green, so I'm going to go with the blue with the red, a bluey red mix, and then I'm going to add the yellow. So because I've got more blue in than red, I'm going to get a dull green. So always mix 2 primaries to make a secondary, then add the 3rd colour incrementally. And I'm going to do little background trees down here. I need to make them a little bit more dilute. I've been having to rehearse Christmas songs ready for next Thursday. So I've got them in my head at the minute. I know I'm normally not Christmassy this early on in the year. Don't blame me, Suzanne. Do it this afternoon. That's fine, Diane. Hello, welcome over here. Good morning, Diane. Yeah, Melanie, Elizabeth, I absolutely hear you. Watching is one of the best ways to learn. How am I doing for time? Gosh, the time just flies by, doesn't it? Already 20 minutes in. I'm going to make a soft orange colour from the cadmium yellow and the cadmium red. Look how strong the cadmium red is. It is annoying, so just be aware that when you mix with cadmium red, and I'm using out of the tube today because it's a bit easier for me to show you what's going on. I'm going to mix a little bit of burnt sienna in here, and I want to dilute that a lot. So I'll put a bit on, and I'm going to clean my brush and wet it so it drags over. I'll do a little bit of dry brushing that. However, such a golden glow, I'm going to make the stronger colour where this wall is. Like that. And leave that dry for a second. I might get the hairdryer on it. It's tricky, isn't it, Liz? Because normally I don't think about Christmas until next. I don't start thinking about Christmas till next week with the shop and everything. But Christmas singing in early November feels a little bit weird. But Got to go where the money is, haven't I? No, it'll be a lovely evening it's a lovely garden centre in the town centre, which is unusual for town centres to have garden centres. It's quite a small, beautiful place. We used to run an art class from there many years ago on a Sunday morning, that we then moved over to here because they needed the space for the cafe, which is understandable. So I'm going to be having a wonderful time. The staff are all wonderful there as well. No, I'm going to get the hairdryer on this. It's taking a bit longer to dry because it's quite cool and damp today. Keep blowing all my brushes off the table. 20th of December. Yeah, after my birthday. 13th of December, by the way. And I like Jack Daniel's honey and Lindor chocolate balls. Just saying. I'll be 44 this year. I think. Something like that. 44. I've got to be 44. Yes. Right, I'm going to put a wash on my snore. That's mainly blue with a little bit of red. And I'm going to be quite free, liberal, loose and splashy with it. Almost dry brush, but not quite. I just want to tint the snow. But not everywhere. But I'm using my squirrel for it, but because I'm working fast, I know it will hit and miss. Oh, 21st of December for Hannah. That's the shortest day of the year. I think I got married on that day, or was it the 22nd? I'm not married now, so it doesn't matter that I can't remember. Oh, you're Mandy, you're the 18th. See, this is the thing. Good month for birthdays in December. You're in good company. There's me, Frank Sinatra, and Jesus, who, you know, got everybody. It's a good month, December. Apparently, do you know, it's one of the rarest months for birthdays, December. So we're very special. I think February is the most rare month. And September's one of the most popular. Just let me snow dry. So you can see we're building it up very slowly. I'm going to go with a little brush and a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of blue. It'll go a greeny browny grey, which is lovely for some rocky bits. Oh, do you know, I'm going to go a little bit darker, so a bit more blue. Very special. Oh, Rosie, are you? You're retiring in December. Aren't you lucky? I've got to wait 25 years, at least. I don't think I'll ever retire, to be fair. As long as I can see and hold me brush, I'll be painting forever and a day. 25 years this year I've been teaching art. Oh, it feels a lot longer, you know. 47 years as an... Oh, well, thank you for 47 years of wonderful service with our invaluable NHS. True hero, Rosie. Oh, bless you. Yeah, but what? I wonder if there's a thing. Oh, thank you, Sue, for the stars. That's really kind of you. I wonder if creativity and Sagittarians go hand in hand. What do you think? Because we've got quite a few of you watching today. I haven't got the time or the energy to formulate a statistician's dream of trying to work out what's going on. But it'd be interesting. So I'm going in my number 4 round. I'm going to do a bit of dry brush. So I'm going to mix a bit of that brown colour in with my orange colour. And I'm just going to sort of skim across this back end so it looks interesting. So the length of the brush is flat to the surface of the paper, and I'm skimming it very quickly. Remember that dry brush isn't actually dry, it has to be damp. Librans are very creative too, absolutely. You still wonder why you don't have enough time to do. Do you know what, Diane? My art students last night were saying exactly the same thing, because some had just recently retired and some have been retired a while, and they said they just didn't know. They're so busy, they don't know how they can fit everything in that they want to do. But equally, I realise there are some people that retire and they get very bored because they've lost their identity. Because they are their job, you know. And I have to say that the younger workers are doing wonders in trying to keep their identity as real people, not just as what they do for a living. And I think that's absolutely commendable. Right, I've got to shove some trees on now, haven't I suppose? Some nice big trees. See, we're creating it because we've got this snow here. Right, so I'm going to have to use my small brush for this. I'm going to go into that background colour with a bit more yellow and a bit of burnt sienna. Least little touch. Oh, I do miss Bob Ross. Bit of cerulean blue. So I'm making a greeny browny grey from cerulean, cad yellow and burnt sienna. Make your green, then add your brown. Best way. We get a lot of people that have taken up retirement, and it's the first time back into a classroom for them because they never had time to do any art as a worker. I'm just very, very grateful that my work is art. If you notice, I said my work, not my income, because I do find you don't always get an income with art. Or certainly not as much as you'd like. I should be brushing outwards, but I'm leaning in a funny way today. Brushing out always gives you much lighter, softer branches. So we launched our Christmas advert yesterday evening. It's almost an anti-Christmas advert, to be honest, because we're so acutely aware that people are financially struggling. We can't justify posting lots of videos of expensive art gifts that nobody can afford when they're struggling to heat their own homes. So we're advocating spend as much as you need to without overspending, and make sure you're spending time with family and loved ones, because that's what's actually more important than presents beneath the tree that nobody's going to buy or use or will end up in the bin 3 weeks later, whereas happy memories and happy families last forever. I just really strongly believe that so much. As it's quite conflicting when you're an art retailer, because you do tend to have slightly more in tune with empathy and that kind of thing, and it's very hard for me to try and say buy this, buy that, when I know none of you have got any money. So make presents or anything. Oh, that's good, Diane. Hard to make money out of anything creative. It really, truly is. So I've got a few trees down here. Get a bit smaller the further down they go. I'll do some dry brush around the edges, so that gives me a little bit more of a defined branch. Go as fine as you can, but the skill is actually being random branches. Really tricky, because you think you're being random and then you take a break and you look again and everything is exactly the same shape. All your trees are the same shape, all your branches are the same length. So what I do is I will deliberately bring one further out, break that cycle. I've got 11 of you online on YouTube and 9 of you on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining me. It is lovely to have your company. It really is. I'm going to use a bit of a dry brush method just to give me, oh gosh, time's going by so fast today, a scratchy edge to create those tracery branches. Just gives the tree a little bit more shape. Now do bear in mind I'm doing this in 45 minutes. Please take time. Don't try and be cocky like me. But it is amazing what you can do with a little bit of speed. The wind in the right direction under your arm with your brush in your hand. So I'm going to do a bit of dry brush with this greeny grey colour for my wall. This is a dry stone wall. Oh no, I've just said dry stone wall. So that means I've got to say the Pam Ayres poem. I am a dry stone waller. All day I dry stone wall. Of all appalling calling, dry stone walling's worst of all. Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. We do get a lot of people with lists of things that they need, colours that they've run out of, or brushes that they need to stock up on. And we hope to be around for a very long time. We've just had 12 years here in Banbury this in October, which, to be honest, is no mean feat for retail at any time, but we've seen 2 recessions. We've lasted longer than most prime ministers. So, no, we're doing well. And it's all down to you, so thank you so much for your support, your kindness, your custom, whether it be supporting the shop or supporting the classes or both. Jackie and I really do appreciate it. You're all so lovely. I won't get emotional because I don't do that. I do really. I'm a big softie. Right. It's kind of, I know that doesn't look like a wall and you're thinking, blimey Barry, what are you doing? But it will. Do you know, Elizabeth, I haven't watched any Pam Ayres. I've heard about it, and because she was with Prince Charles as he was before he became the king, wasn't he? I don't get time. I'm doing about 60, 70 hours a week teaching and at the shop at the moment, so I've not really got time. Oh, good old Derek. Couldn't cope without you. Your class is an amazing. Oh, thank you, Janet. I'm sure you could, but thank you. Right. Let's wait for that to dry a little bit. How are you doing on YouTube? Is it looking all right to you so far? I want to make a dark colour, so I'm going to use that shadow mix. A bit of cadmium red. I need to make a lot of this. So it's amazing just using the same few colours. Oh, see, I picked up a lump of cadmium red then. That was annoying. Oh, Sue, you flatterer. Thank you. More. So I've made my bluey purple and add a little bit of burnt sienna in there. Now, if you find it is still too purple, you could always add a tiny bit of yellow, because purple and yellow are complementary opposites. It's part of the course of being an art tutor when you deal with grown-ups. Oh, thank you, Mandy. You have to have a bit of you time. It's so important. It really, really, really is. So I'm going to do a bit on the dark side of my tree, because I said, didn't I, that the light's coming from the left. But I want to show you how you can make it look like you've got some branches, even though it's a massive tree from a distance. See, when I sing that, what do you think of? Do you think Bette Midler or Cliff Richard? From a distance. I think Bette Midler. Oh, you got YouTube up on your telly, Lynette. Oh, I'd have combed my hair if I'd have known. All us art tutors, we're just frustrated entertainers. That's basically the thing. How big is your telly? How big have you gone up? Bette Midler. See, I love Bette Midler. Have any of you seen Hocus Pocus 2 yet? Because I haven't. And as a kid, I absolutely loved the first one. So if I want a branch to come out slightly towards us, I'm going to lift out part of that branch into the body of the tree. And it looks like it's coming forward. And if this bit is in front of that bit, we'll lift that bit out as well. Right, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to basically just do some squiggles on the dry stone wall. So yeah, remind me, Libby, when I mention what next month's free demo is, to show you what I mean. 32-inch flat screen, so it's almost a lot bigger for you on your screen than I'm painting it then, because this is only A4. That's quite exciting. I've got the projector on in the classroom. It's a big AO smartboard, because I never know if people are going to join me live, because sometimes we have real life people. I know you're real, obviously I know you're real, but I mean like in the flesh people. No, I don't have the Disney Channel, which is sad, but I've got Netflix, but I don't even have, I've only got basic Freeview on Sky, because I can't really afford or justify having 900 channels when I only watch about half an hour of telly a week. I do like Hollyoaks. I know. Why do you like Hollyoaks? I don't know. I think I've always watched it, and now I'm the same age as most of the people on it. Grown up with the actors. And sometimes it's really rubbish. But it's nice mind-numbing telly, innit? Oh, Rosemary, I did wonder where you were. Do you want an early morning wake up call for the next one? I'm using, this is a bit of scrap paper, Sharon, that I just found. However, it is, I know it's 300 GSM cold pressed or not surface paper. There's a few brands that we can't get anymore, so I've just shoved them in a box, and this is one of them. So I'm just squiggling. Hello, Joy. Slackers, you lot. Been here for 42 minutes. Gosh. Actually, I didn't start bang on 11, did I? It was about 5 past, so give me an extra little bit of an allowance. You could do this standing on your head, you two, anyway, so it's all right that you're late. It's lovely to have you with me, even though you're late. It is. I love these demo days. It's been 6 years since we started doing these live onlines. We always did monthly Facebook. We always did monthly demonstrations. I've just had a bit of brown into that orange colour. We always did monthly demos from the shop in person. But our very first one, sadly, I know the date. The date of our very first one was 2016, and it was the 16th, Saturday the 16th of June 2016 was my very first, and I think I was doing trees, and it was my very first Facebook Live, and then we kind of 55-inch screen, woo, Sue, fancy. And we've now switched to the first Saturday of every month to have it regular, but previously it was just randomly. But yeah, I know, sadly, I know it was Saturday the 16th of June, because 10 minutes before I went live, I had a phone call from my sister to say that my mother, who was in the hospice at the time, wasn't going to last the day. So I did my demo, and as soon as the demo ended at 12 o'clock, I packed up the shop and drove 70 miles to the hospice to sit with my mum. So I knew she wouldn't want me to stop, because she'd have told me off. So I did the demo, but I was slightly distracted, as you can imagine. So if you ever scroll back to that date, you'll see the first ever one, and that's why it's always ingrained into my mind. Right, I'm going to do a bit of grass now. I might use my squirrel for this. Slightly orange, so a bit of blue, bit of red. No, not blue, bit of yellow. Oh, that flipping cadmium red, it's so strong. So if you notice, I'm stabbing. Stabby stab. And this is grass. So this is where the fan brush, squirrel brush comes into its own, really. Look. So stab, stab, stab. Splay your bristles. Get lovely tufts. Same colour my hair was when I was a kid. Truth. You can either flick up or flick down if you want other elements. So yeah, we've almost done every single month for 6 years. Well, just over 6 years. No, it doesn't ruin the brush. It as long as when you wash it, you repoint it, it's fine. It is sad, Elizabeth, but my mum, she was a creative person, my best friend, and she used to help out in the shop in the school holidays when Jackie was looking after the kids. So She was a big part of this business. And we didn't even close on the day she died, because I actually conducted my mother's funeral, the whole of it. I did the whole service and everything, because I joked about it when I was a kid, and never thought it would ever happen. Because you don't, do you? So I'm just adding a bit more burnt sienna. Do you know, I'll add a little bit of blue in there just to dull it down, just so we've got some slightly darker bits. So it was the last thing I could ever do for my mom, was to conduct her funeral. I'm not a vicar or anything, I'm just an art teacher, but I wanted it to be as special as it could be for her. I'll let that dry. As long as Libby, as long as your pen doesn't say permanent, light fast or waterproof on, you're all right. So I just need this to dry, and then we'll do some snowy shadows, and then we're done. And time is nearly up. I'm going to add a quick little bit of orange. Oh, I didn't clean my brush then. Quick little bit of orange glow. Just on the snow over here. Normally I'm not an advocate for yellow snow. It wasn't brave, Janet. It was a way of me still being in control, because I'm a massive control freak, and me standing in the podium at the crematorium, welcoming everybody, made me feel more. Because I've spent my whole career in front of crowds of people, so I actually feel more in control, welcoming people in and doing that than I would have just sat down following the coffin. So no, it was quite selfish of me in a way. Right, we want a slightly stronger shadow colour. Oh, I'm clicking buttons like a crazy person here, and I'm clicking all the wrong. Oh, see what's come up on my screen now. So we need some snowy shadows. You could see then, actually, I cleaned the brush and just repoint it. Not damaged, beautifully to look at. We're going to make a purple from our blue and a little bit of our red. Slightly more blue as it's snow. And it will reflect the gorgeous colour sky that we've got. Shadow in snow is a really useful tool, because it does make it look like you can. If you don't add shadows in snow, it just looks like you couldn't be bothered to finish. You know, so it kind of fits it all in. I have to say thank you very much to those of you sending stars. It's I know there's no way of like sending money or anything if you not that we ask for money for these demos, but you can always pay by PayPal. We have an option on our website, as soon as you land on our website, that you can pay on our coffee page and make a £3 donation if you want to support us. And it just means, as you can work out the materials and the time for these demos, it just means that we can keep doing them. And we're nearly done. I'm going to do a lot over that back. Oh, I have got a customer, but hopefully she can wait just 2 minutes. I'm nearly finished. Right, I think we can call that a day. What do you think? Time to call it a day. The painting's over. Just a few slightly darker tufts in there. I could spend another 20 minutes on that, but that's not the point. So water soluble pen next week. So it's just a paintbrush. I will be sketching it out, and a water soluble pen. I use the Tri Plus colour liner or the Blue Acorn, but the Beryl handwriting pens are wonderful. So if it says permanent, light fast or waterproof, do not use it. It's got to be something that's spready. And I think I need a bit of shadow from that tree. So if it spreads on paper when you wet it, that's fine. So for example, this is a permanent pen and it says water and fade proof pigment ink, so that's a no-no. But if it says nothing on it, or it's oh, thank you for the stars, Diane, that's very kind, then you're more likely to have it as water. But do practice on your paper just by scribbling a line. Watercolour paper is the best for it. Scribble a line and then see how you get on. So I'll take a photograph of this so you can see what it looks like close up. So take care. See you soon. Thank you so much. So the next demo is Saturday, the 3rd of December. Take care. See you soon. Stay warm. Bye bye.